We want to see her face when you
Aditi,
react.
join the panel.
There you go.
Hi,
Morning.
Aditi. Man, we got a lot of hot
Morning.
stuff for you today.
Do you know what we're talking about here?
Well, keep going. I'm waiting to hear who you have.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm taking. I want your approach. Okay.
Yeah.
Where are we weak? We need a linebacker. We need linebacker help. And I think we've all somehow forgotten how good DeQuell Jackson was, and the fact that he was never in an attack-style defense, which he on this show many times has said. I always shook my head at how they played when I was in Cleveland. It wasn't to my strength. I wanted to attack. Now, probably because they were weak in other places and they didn't want to expose those weaknesses. But if you put DeQuell Jackson on this team with Myles Garrett and Jadeveon Clowney and the back end of the defense that we have,
and JOK,
DeQuell Jackson is a perennial Pro Bowler in his prime on this lineup. Aditi, am I wrong?
It's a good choice. That's why he was on my list.
I like that.
My long
And
list.
I'm not just sucking up to him either because he's on our show.
Yes.
He was a great player.
It feels like there's an agenda there. It does feel a little bit like, it's not like you picked a guy that's not on the show, right?
True.
Although it's probably a savvy move, I'd say.
Do you have
Can
one?
I go back? Can I go back to Cade York? Because it's really funny. I was talking to Cade York right after he was drafted, and he was talking about length, and he was talking about Justin Tucker's 66-yard record-breaking field goal against Detroit last year.
Right.
And Cade actually said that probably a good chunk of the kickers in the National Football League could kick a ball 60 yards, but to be able to do it under pressure with the game on the line, inside, in that sort of environment is a totally different ball game.
Absolutely.
So even he would tell you that while maybe Jim Donovan, while maybe you are impressed by that 66-yarder yesterday or whatever it was, the 60-plus yarder, he's not necessarily going to be that thrilled until he does it, as Adam said, in a game in the National Football League.
But I will say this, it's not like he doesn't have a body of work here. When you look at his percentage of kicks made, over 50 yards in college football, and he didn't kick
under pressure
at Louisiana Lafayette.
Conditions.
Correct. Yes, he is money on big kicks from 50 yards at a big-time blue-chip program that won a national championship while he was there. I know we haven't seen him do it yet in the NFL. I believe that 5 years from now, we will be looking back at the Cade York. This draft will be remembered for him.
For Cade York.
I think he's going to be that good. I look at what happened with the Bengals in their pick last year.
And Evan McPherson.
Nugent, great kicker in college. Ohio State.
He changed their life.
The Bengals are, why would you take a kicker in the 5th round? And look at how money he was. I mean, he's the one that kicked the Bengals into the AFC title game and then the one that kicked them into the Super Bowl.
You're right.
Yeah,
and he was, what was he, 14 for 14 in the
14
playoffs?
for 14. No one has ever done that.
He's already the second best kicker in the NFL. Second or third.
But you don't want us to take a kicker, though.
All I'm saying is, I think generally it's stupid to take a kicker that high. In my general opinion on it, if he ends up being as good as those guys, it's worth it.
Yes.
But he better be.
Yeah, you're right.
He can't just be even average.
No,
he better be
I'm
like
all in on
an
Cade York.
all-time
Dan,
kicker.
I hate this talk of it's stupid to take this position at this spot. If the guy is what you need, he's perfect for what you need, and you don't know he's going to be available anywhere else, what difference does it make?
Well,
especially if you need him.
Number one, I agree, I understand what you're saying. I only say that about kicker. I don't say it about any other position.
All right.
And real quick.
But you act like kickers are dime a dozen. Shouldn't anybody who's been in Cleveland recognize a good kicker?
Thank you. And that's my point.
Two things, Aditi. One, we don't know that he's a good kicker. The last kicker they drafted sucked and got cut in 10 seconds.
So the next one will, too?
No, I'm just saying. We said we should be able to recognize a good kicker, but we don't know a good kicker until he does it in the NFL, as you just said. And number two, if you're going to people keep saying, well, he wasn't going to be there. Nobody knows that he was going to be there or not.
No, it's a calculated risk.
So we don't know that.
It's a calculated move, but I do think that teams are very, very good at kind of figuring out who likes whom and who could potentially be off the board and who's in the market for something. And I do think that going back to Evan McPherson, seeing how money Evan McPherson was a year ago and the Bengals using a 5th-round pick on him motivates. I mean, at the end of the day, the NFL is a copycat league.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said the day they drafted him.
Yeah, to sit here and say, okay, if we love a kicker and we believe in a kicker, go and get the kicker. You can't just leave it to chance. You're going to end up with Justin Tucker off the street.
You're right. Aditi, I feel bad because I wanted to bring you in this way.
Go ahead.
I wanted the first thing that you talked about was to tell Browns fans and Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show viewers the good news that you've been sitting on for a while. The floor is yours. Take it away.
Wait, did Chris Rose not share the news yesterday?
He did not share the news
Apparently,
yesterday.
it got announced right after he came.
Yes,
he came
it was
off, went off
announced
the air with
after
us.
his appearance.
He was hating.
We were too busy obsessing on his beard.
The Cleveland Browns have a brand new preseason broadcast crew, and it is your favorite Browns player, Joe Thomas. It is one of your favorite sons. I mean, is Jay Crawford the favorite son?
Chris has that. Chris absolutely has that crown.
It's Bone Thugs in Harmony.
Chris Rose, the very first time I met him, all he wanted to do was talk about the Cleveland Browns, and this was 11 years ago. Poor guy. And me.
Yeah!
Hey.
Look at all those likable people.
Me on a field in Cleveland.
Man.
I can't wait. I am super
gonna be
excited about
awesome.
this. Wait, can you put that picture back up for 1 second? I want you to focus in on Joe Thomas.
Looking excited to see Aditi,
That is
right?
actually the exact second that Joe was told that Aditi was going to be on the team.
He's excited. Yes.
That's how he wakes up.
But you know what? And we will have a lot of fun. And that's one of the things. I think it's not Joe and Chris are consummate professionals. They're great. Joe is really funny. He brings insight that you would never expect. Chris is one of the most underrated play callers in the National Football League, in any sort of sports calling anywhere. But the three of us are really good friends too. And I just expect that we'll have a lot of fun. We'll get to play off of each other. And, you know, as I said, I think the preseason is the best time for storytelling because you're not necessarily as wrapped up in the play calling or the play-by-play. And it's just an opportunity to get to know who are the players on the team, who are the new guys you're going to be rooting for, who are the guys that you've been rooting for, and how have they changed. And that's my favorite part of this business, and I get to do it. So
the only down thing for me is that we only have 3 preseason games now. I am now an advocate of 6 preseason games. I think we need more.
Let's just instead of that, let's just have you guys do some regular season games.
That would be even better.
It's all UCSS booth, by the way.
What's that? Yeah, it
all
is.
UCSS booth.
Yes. It is an all
it's UCSS launching all of us to stardom. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
You know what?
Welcome.
I wish you'd get off our back. I really do. You're killing us. You're killing us, Aditi.
Well, great choice by the Browns. That's an exciting
good news.
Excellent
Congratulations.
choice. And congratulations.
That's awesome.
Yeah. We couldn't be happier for you. Your insight on this show is going to be exactly what preseason viewers are going to get during the games. And here's my hope, too. I think that in the business for broadcast games, too often the sideline personality is underutilized. I believe that there's all kinds of nuggets that they can be folding into the game. I want to give the Guardians credit for doing something that I think is a little unconventional, but it's worked. They use Andre Knott as a third voice in the booth.
Right.
Andre is one of the best in the business at what he does.
Yes.
And I love that they've kind of transitioned to it, not just being...
Yeah, he's like a second analyst, really.
He is. And they bring him in, and you don't even know that he's in the dugout.
Yep, right. He pipes up whenever he wants.
It's good. And Aditi is cut from the same cloth.
So that's what I'm hoping the Browns do. I'm
Yes.
hoping the Browns turn this really into like a 3-person broadcast booth.
They should.
With Aditi's knowledge and her storytelling ability, they can do in the preseason games exactly what the Guardians have mastered. I don't think there's another major league team that pulls it off like the Guardians because Andre's the best. And Aditi is absolutely in that class. And I can't wait to see you guys kind of gel together as a team. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Jay, you are the best, and I will give you the producer. I will give you Jonathan Siegel's phone number as soon as we are off, so you can feel free to give your opinion there.
Listen, he'll figure that out. He knows who he has.
I'll be the one jumping on the sideline. Hey, come to me, I've got it.
All right, Aditi, it wouldn't be some time with you if I didn't crap on Baker, so let's get to that.
Oh, boy.
Here we go.
If Baker Mayfield had called the Browns last week, okay, they called the Browns. I'm going to pretend I'm Baker. I'm much better looking, but we'll
Okay.
just imagine. All right. I'm certainly nicer. People like me more. Maybe not. Anyway, so if I'm Baker Mayfield, I'm calling Mr. Personality, Kevin Stefanski, and I'm like, hey, coach, get Andy B on the phone here too. I want to talk to both of you. Listen, I want to come to the mandatory minicamp. I know I've been the biggest pain in the ass for the last 4 years. I'm selfish. I'm immature. But those days are over. They're behind me. I want to get traded. You want me to get traded. I know nobody wants to pay me $19 million, which the Baker bros are pretending is a lot of money when we all know it's not, but I want to get traded. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to come to the mandatory minicamp. I'm going to work my ass off. If you don't want me to talk to the media, I won't. I'm going to keep my head down, bust my butt, and I want to help you, and I want to help myself. But of course, I assume he didn't do that. Had he done something like that without my agenda thrown in there, would the Browns have said yes and let him come? Do you believe?
This is just one of those sort of bizarre speculation things.
Beyond
it's
bizarre.
kind of like
Beyond bizarre.
trafficking in fantasy land.
That's
I mean,
what
there's
I
just
do,
no
Aditi.
way that it would have happened.
Have you seen
So-
our reality? This is better.
Yeah. I like to traffic in fantasy land.
It is.
I
It
think,
is.
you know what I'm wrapped up in though, Adam, is when you got married, did you think your wife was going to change? Are you the sort of person, like, did you date girls and think, she's not very nice to my
I didn't
parents?
want her to
but maybe
change.
one
She
day
was
will
amazing.
be?
I didn't need her to change.
Well, not her, the people
Yeah.
before her. That was a good answer.
Did
by
I
the
ever
way.
think I could change a girl I dated? No.
Yeah,
I
I
never
just
tried
feel
to.
like you keep thinking Baker's going to be somebody that he's not.
Well, but don't
I mean,
we?
you have to have a lobotomy to be that person. That's not
wait,
who he's going to
Aditi,
be.
no, I think you're misunderstanding me. Let me clarify. I'm obviously doing a lot of tongue in cheek when I'm asking you this question, but I'm not asking the Baker to change the core of who he is. I'm asking him to be more mature, grow up. We all change some, right? I'm not the same person I was when I was 18. I was a freaking
Sure,
idiot
okay, so
when
here's
was
what I
18.
would say. Do I think the Browns would have said yes to Baker?
Yeah.
No.
Really?
Would I have said yes to Baker?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I would have loved to welcome him in that way. I would have loved to have given him the opportunity to show that he has indeed grown up, matured, changed, can just do the job and keep his head down and, like you said, get to work. I would have loved that. And then you know what? There would have been something else to talk about besides the other quarterback right now. So maybe it wouldn't have been such a big deal. I mean, why
But if
not?
you're right,
Why
Aditi,
not at this point?
and I know
Why
you-
not at this point?
and
But
if-
I don't think that Andrew Berry or Kevin Stefanski would have said yes.
Guys, if Aditi is right,
Yeah.
and she's much more connected to the Browns than I am, she's as plugged in as probably anybody, okay? So if she's right, then your theory is out the window.
Yeah, but Bull, first of all, I'm going to agree with Aditi. In your wildly hypothetical
Beyond.
fantasy world,
Yes.
are you better looking than Kevin Stefanski too in that
Let's
world?
not get crazy.
Okay, I just wanted to get that out
Let's
there.
not get crazy.
But I agree with Aditi. So here's the
Yeah.
problem. When we discuss Deshaun Watson, the one thing that I always try to tell myself before and during these segments is let's focus on what we know.
Yes.
What do we know? Not what we think, not what someone heard, but like the knowable, provable facts. And unfortunately, Aditi, in this whole divorce between Baker and the Browns, what we know is provably true is the Browns made the internal decision that they could upgrade at the quarterback position, and they were willing to make that move. We also know that Baker, after that happened, said, okay, then trade me. So outside of that, Aditi, God, there's so much that we don't know. We don't know, did the Browns initiate this conversation? Did Baker? Is it really a mutual thing? Did Baker maybe say, I could be open to that, and the Browns say no? Did the Browns say, maybe we could make that work, and Baker said no? We don't know any of that. So these asking Aditi, on this wildly hypothetical, and I know that's what we do. We're filling a lot of time. I just think it's kind of a Fantasyland conversation.
Yeah, but I'm not doing it to
once
fill
upon a
time. I'm doing it because I want to know what she thought of the Browns' perspective of them willing to let him practice. But I don't think the
we
question
don't know
itself
that
is
really.
crazy.
They've never come out and said.
The way I presented it was crazy on purpose.
No, I know that you were having fun with
But
it.
I think there's another piece here, guys, too. Like when you sit here and we talk about Baker showing up and, showing that he's come to work, there's always also the risk of injury. It's why you see guys that are doing hold-ins not necessarily participate in team drills. So what if Baker does show up, but then he says, I'm not going to do any teamwork because I don't want to get injured because I do want to be able to go and play someplace else. So I just think that there are way too many variables here. And to your point, Jay, I think the truth, it's sort of like we're in a truthiness moment. Like you could ask Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski what they think the truth is in terms of what Baker and Baker's camp knew. And Baker and Baker's camp could sit here and say, we didn't necessarily see it that way, or our expectation was a little bit different. So there's certainly perception. There's the way things are read. I just think that at the end of the day, this is the most obvious, clean answer. And it just keeps Baker healthy in his mind. It keeps the Browns moving forward as they think that they are moving forward. And the more interesting conversation is, where is there a home for Baker, and how much of his contract are the Browns willing to pick up to help engender that move to get him to a new home?
Now, I'll say this, and just to kind of just throw a bow on it. Some of us are married here. You're married, right? Yes, happily, of course. Now, here's one thing that here's what I don't do. I don't come home, and I got 2 rules. I don't do fake breakups, and you can't say the D word, and that's divorce. If you say I want a divorce at any point in time, that means you done already went through it. You done went through your head. You done walked through it. You done looked at the scenarios. You understand what we gonna do and what we ain't gonna do. If you say the word divorce to me, oh no, we can't talk about that, because at that point in time, you've already made your mind and you came to that conclusion. And I'm not going to say it unless I really mean it. And at this point, when they said divorce between Baker and the Browns, it's no coming back from that. You might as well just go ahead and just say, let's get ready to finish this out.
I think. Aditi, before we get to the top 5, real quick, I know we got to get there. Seattle, there was an article about that. I do think, as much as I pick on Baker, he's clearly much better than anything Seattle has. I think that actually makes the most sense. You think he could end up there?
I agree with you, and I don't know what the holdup right now is, other than trying to see what there is, see what they actually have in lock. It's very hard to sit here and think. Again, I'll keep saying this. Baker Mayfield is indeed a good quarterback. He may not be an elite top 10 quarterback, but he can win games. He has demonstrated in the National Football League that he can win games. And Kevin Stefanski was not lying or just giving everybody lip service when he said he really did feel confident or could feel good about moving forward this season with Baker Mayfield as his starting quarterback. And so it's hard, but guys, you know this, like there are qualified people that can be on the market and there just isn't the right fit, or there just isn't the right opening at a certain time. That doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. But I do think that at this moment, that seems like the most likely fit. Let's see, though. Somebody could get hurt between now and training camp, and all of a sudden a new fit opens up.
I know that these teams pretty much know what's going to happen. They're all waiting for Baker to be released. I think that's pretty much where we are. I think it would have been interesting had the Browns said, he's our insurance policy, and we're going to pay $19 million no matter what. Do we want him on our team or off our team for a $19 million price tag? I thought maybe the Browns would play a little game of GM chess and say, Baker's going to be here. Baker is on our roster. Baker becomes our insurance policy and our best available option if Deshaun gets a 1 full season suspension. At least play chicken with Seattle, who then might say, oh, damn, they may keep him and he
better
may not
get our
be
bid
available.
in before somebody else.
So here's a 4th round draft choice. Let's just do this.
In the end, one thing we do know also, in that vein, though, nobody wants him that bad. Otherwise, somebody would have given up something. At this point,
well, they're playing the game. They think they can get him without giving up.
Yeah, but Jay,
anything.
at this point, somebody wouldn't give up a 7th-round pick, a 7th-round pick if they really wanted him.
At this point, we know he's not top 5, but I think Mikey McNuggets is going to tell us what's in.
Let's do it.
Top
Top 5.
5
Here we
time,
go.
Aditi. Top 5 time.
It is time for the Ultimate 5. And as always, the Ultimate 5 is sponsored by Roundstone Insurance. Roundstone offers a better alternative for affordable quality health care. For more than a decade, Roundstone Insurance has been saving small and mid-sized businesses money up to 20%. Contact us today, and you can learn how to get great health care benefits that your employees will love, too, and save money. Booyah.
Like a Roundstone cowboy.
Yeah.
They're legit.
20%.
I mean,
great insurance company.
Inflation's at 8%. So if you can save 20%, you're still ahead of the game.
There you go,
What's our
Aditi.
top 5 topic?
So Aditi and I were going back and forth last night. She's going to submit a top 5 for next week. She had some hesitation going back and forth, but we're going to nail her top 5 next week. So today's
great.
top 5.
You've seen how low the bar is, Aditi. You can. It's not hard at all.
I don't know. I thought the cheese one was pretty good.
I mean, it could be top 5 colored belly lints.
I was inspired.
That's disgusting.
That is gross. Yeah.
All right, what do we
So
got?
today's
Mikey.
top 5 is the 5 coolest sports to be randomly good at. And these are less of real sports and more of like off-topic games and kind of sports.
I
but
like this.
In that
I like
category.
this.
All right.
So number 5, cornhole. There's nothing cooler than a dude who just shows up to a backyard barbecue and is a ringer.
That has to be
Whoa,
higher.
whoa, whoa, whoa.
That should be
dude?
higher.
Dude? You
Yeah,
don't
what
think
about a
that
dudette?
women
Why
like
can't it?
cornhole?
Why
I didn't
does
say
that have to be
dude.
a
You did say dude.
Oh, person.
You just said
Excuse
dude.
me.
There's nothing
My
cooler
mom's
than
a
a
ringer.
dude.
at
Although
cornhole.
Jay
They
calls
are-
women dudes
Than a
too.
chick
So
that
does G.
shows up.
That gets very
Jay and G
open-minded.
call women dudes.
I say
you know?
I call all people bros.
Or bro.
All
not,
bros.
Sorry, not dude. You guys call women bros.
All
So
bros.
there you go.
But I think that's a term of endearment. When
It
I call
is.
a woman a bro, that to
Yeah.
me, that like
Aditi, had you ever heard of cornhole before
Jace
moving?
never called me bro.
I have
Never
not.
called
Had I
bro.
ever what? Say that again.
Aditi, I had never heard of cornhole till moving to Cleveland. Had you ever heard of it before moving to Pittsburgh?
Oh yeah.
You had.
Come on,
I
Well,
never-
actually, now I'm thinking about it. Had I ever played cornhole before I moved to Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
I
bet you-
never played cornhole before I moved to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I never heard
it
of
is
it
kind of a
growing up.
Midwest thing. But
Yeah.
but Aditi,
Yeah.
Bull thinks everything west of the East River is the Midwest.
Right.
Like
Me too.
in their New York bubble, they haven't heard of college football, so of course they haven't heard of cornhole.
Wait a second.
Did you never
I don't
hear
believe
this story?
that.
When
No,
the
that's not
NFL
true.
Network, I was writing at the Wall Street Journal, and I lived in Hoboken, New Jersey, and the NFL Network wanted to hire me, but they needed me to move because their model is that reporters are in different cities, so they're easily deployable. And again, born in New York City, grew up in New Jersey, was living in Hoboken, New Jersey, and they said, will you move to Atlanta, Dallas, or the Midwest? And because my then boyfriend, now husband, was in Pittsburgh, I said, oh, isn't Pittsburgh the Midwest? And they said, you need a map. We actually mean
Clearly.
Chicago. But it turned out that Pittsburgh actually worked. But I
most
really
New
did
Yorkers do
genuinely
think
think
that-
that Pittsburgh was the Midwest.
Cleveland is not much further west than Pittsburgh. West.
No, if you look at
It's 2
geographic-
hours. I mean,
Yeah.
Cleveland is even more west. If
Yeah.
Pittsburgh
It's not
is
even-
the Midwest, then
it's
Cleveland
not
is
2 hours
definitely
west,
the
though.
No,
It's 2
we're
hours.
the far east fringe of
Right.
the Midwest.
Man.
I always thought the
Yeah.
cutoff.
No, Pittsburgh
I always
counts
thought
in the
Pittsburgh was the
Midwest.
cutoff.
Pittsburgh does not count as the Midwest, Aditi.
We're all flyover, according to
You're
everyone.
on the far west
You hung
edge.
out here? Do you know how these
Pittsburgh
people
is
are?
not an East
Yeah.
Coast city. Jay, Pittsburgh's not an East Coast
It's
city.
not East Coast.
It's
No,
gotta be
it's not
something else.
East Coast.
It's the Boston
Yeah.
of Pennsylvania.
But it's in Pennsylvania, which is an East Coast state.
I know that, but Pittsburgh is a much more similar city to Cleveland than it is to Philly or New York.
Oh, you're
that's
talking,
what I mean.
Oh, well, we're Rust Bucket, and so is Pittsburgh.
I mean,
and Detroit.
Buffalo's
Yes.
in New
Rust
York, but I
Belt.
think of Buffalo as a Midwest city.
Yeah. Okay.
all right.
Number
Even not
4, we went
geographic.
way off.
Go ahead.
track.
Sorry.
Well, while I
4.
love the geography lesson.
Yeah.
I know.
For number 4, let's bring up a 4 box, Steve, for billiards. Wait, DeQuell just walked away. DeQuell's in. He's going to hop in with this.
Okay.
There's a
We got the
pool-
Quell 4 box.
DeQuell will be back. He just stepped out of his shot. He was ready, then stepped out. So
Okay.
we'll get DeQuell on with one
Yeah.
sec for us. But being really good at pool, at a bar, if you could just run the pool
It's a
table.
boss move.
Yeah,
That's
it's
a
a
fun
boss
thing
move.
to see.
Yeah.
What's the difference between billiards and pool?
None.
I don't know.
Same thing.
Yeah.
None.
Thing?
Someone
In fact, I think it's lame to call it billiards.
But-
It's a
but
bad job by
I've
Mike.
actually billiards is the overarching game, and then you can play pool as like a game within
Yes.
billions, 9
Yeah.
ball, stuff
9
like
ball.
that.
Yeah.
There
You don't
is-
need that much information about it.
Okay.
Just letting you know.
There's-
Hey, you guys just described where Pittsburgh was for like 45 minutes.
Yeah, now, get him up out of here. Get him up out of here. Hey, what are you talking about? See how they do you?
I know. Pop up with some useful information. Everybody's like, hey, shut up.
Hey, we gotta go. Hey, McNuggets, by the way, it's a party
Oh, my
foul
God.
to be in a bar, a crowded bar, trying to get your pool game off. Go to a pool hall.
Yeah.
Nobody
I
wants
didn't
Those
say
to.
I was
people are
good at
jerks.
it.
I don't
just
like
said it's
those
cool
people.
for
Hold
people
on,
to
I
be
got a
good.
shot
That
right
should have
here.
been the bad list guy of people
Yeah.
that play pool in a bar.
Somebody's trying to dance, and there's somebody who's like, can you move? I'm trying to play pool.
You're a loser if you're
I'm,
playing
here, I'm
pool
playing
in a bar.
alone. Get out of my
Wow,
way.
he just threw the big L out there for anybody that plays pool in a
No,
bar.
at a bar.
Yeah, you are.
Unless it's empty.
I
You
feel
go
like
there
that's the
early
only
in
place
day.
I've ever seen pool tables.
Yeah. I mean,
If
Go
it's
to
a bar
pool
that's
hall.
intended for
Pool halls are some
and that's
shady
how you,
places,
like,
though.
pick up
I know,
a-
they're fun.
That's like pool hall, like strip club level shadiness, without the damn
Nope,
people.
nope. But hey, we got
I'm
DeQuell.
passing.
Yeah,
that's
DeQuell.
tomorrow's top 5.
Yeah, that's true.
How bad was that take from Bull?
DeQuell.
What's up, DeQuell?
Yeah, I just stepped back in the room and you guys were talking about billiards. I love playing pool. Now, I'm
Yeah.
one of the guys, I'll go to a bar and play pool. I have a
will
pool
too.
table
Guy.
in the room next.
Are you the one
I
telling?
don't know.
But nobody's gonna. If
Ain't
he
nobody
tells
gonna say
somebody to
nothing.
get out of the way, nobody's gonna say anything.
No. But I'm with him.
No,
I mean,
Yeah, but DeQuell,
I'm
are you the
never- I'm
person
never
who's
in a
telling people
rush to
back
play.
up, back up? Are you saying back up, get out of my shot?
No.
Okay.
If the table is open, I'll kindly just, if no one's there, pick up a stick, and if anyone wants to play, let's play. But I'm never in any rush at a bar You know what? Actually, I haven't been in a place with a pool table and a bar in a very long time. Now that I think
Because of COVID or just because of in general?
because of COVID, and plus I have my own in the room next to me, so I'm in no rush.
So he's a raker. He's the guy that goes in there and runs the table and makes sure everybody in the bar is watching him. Hey, look, I ran
you know
the
what?
table.
Yeah. Listen, I play to win. I have a chalkboard for all my anyone who's ever played me, all my wins and losses. So I play to keep score.
By the way, I hate pools so much that when I bought my house, there was a pool table in the basement. And they said, "Do you want to keep it?" I said, "Get that piece of crap out of here."
Wow.
Oh my God, Bull! You could have sold it. You could have made money.
No. I wanted the man cave. I guess a man cave should have a pool.
I have a man cave, and I have a pool table.
Yeah, but I don't have Jay Crawford money to have a big enough basement for a pool table and anything else.
You have the pool table already in it.
Yeah, but it was too small a space. I don't know why the hell they had it
There's no room in my house where you could possibly fit your arm going this way while playing pool. And not one room do I have that is that size.
Hey, by the way,
what was that, Aditi?
Well, I would say McNuggets is ping pong on the table because I would rather have a ping pong table than a pool table.
Stop ruining my list, Aditi. That's coming.
Get the juggling or whatever.
All right.
Jumping the gun.
First off, before we get to 3, DeQuell, I like the addition to the set here with the Browns logos behind you.
Yeah, I was feeling team pride today.
Nice.
So
I like that. I like it.
All right, so number 3 on the list, darts. If you could throw a bullseye on a darts table with people watching,
really good darts player.
it's a showstopper.
Yeah, big time.
You can't have no kids with that around.
Yeah, but you're in a bar playing darts with kids. Who's taking kids to a bar?
No, actually,
my dad.
Gee, we've got one that's like Velcro balls. So you
Yes.
Velcro balls.
My son needs to learn how to play darts for sure.
Yes, absolutely. It's a life skill that everybody should have. What's number 2?
This is darts with a little more danger. Axe throwing.
This is a new thing that people are doing.
I've done that. That's a blast.
I've been on some bad bachelor parties
killed
too.
doing that yet? I feel like somebody's gonna die doing that. It's gotta happen.
I haven't heard of that, but the first time I did it, it was in Brooklyn, which is really, trendy place. This was probably 8 years ago, and I'd never heard of it. And I thought, what a brilliant idea. Let's bring a bunch of 20, 30-year-old people, serve a lot of alcohol, and throw axes. But it's fun, man. It's really fun.
Hey, DeQuell, let me talk to you real quick. Me and you, we can't do throwing axes after dark. None of that. That's not a thing. I'm not gonna be no 6'5" black dude with an axe.
If I saw you, I'd go the other way. I'd go the other way.
Gee, if I can say this one thing, I've never done it, but July 4th, my family, we're going to a place in Pennsylvania, and they actually have axe throwing. I'm actually gonna take part. As of right now, yes, I get it, but I'm definitely gonna.
You do that during the daytime, DeQuell.
It looks fun.
Wait,
you do
DeQuell,
that. Make sure it's between the 8 and 4. You do that.
DeQuell, where in Pennsylvania? And
It's called a place. Yes, it's a place called Nemacolin. Have you heard of it?
Oh my God, the Nemacolin is awesome.
We know where that's at.
Okay.
Hey,
so yeah.
First of all, bougie alert.
Yeah.
But I love it. Listen, that place is a paradise. I love it there.
In Pennsylvania?
Listen,
of course, G and I are like, what the hell is that?
I know where it's at.
Oh, you know
talk
where
about
that?
Nemacolin.
Talk about it. Go ahead, Didi. She got the past lifetime pass.
I haven't been there. I'm not a former NFL player. You need, it's a bougie.
Oh man.
It is.
I've been to Kennywood.
I have a very bougie wife, and at times
So do I.
I have to make sure I take care of her. So it's going to be, I can do the fly fishing, I'm doing axe throwing, I'm doing clay shooting, I'm doing all the outdoorsy activities that they would allow me to do.
I just got asked to play in an event. Mel Blunt is doing a golf and clay shooting outing actually in August, and his wife was like, "Do you want to be the clay shooter?" And I was like, "No, I'm in New York City."
Hey, I'm straight.
I feel like DeQuell. I feel like if you're doing a clay shooting, I feel like you got to wear like a fancy suit and maybe like a white scarf around your neck. An ascot.
A straw hat.
At the very least, I will look the part.
Yeah, you got to.
I believe that. I believe that.
Hey, DeQuell, can you ask Wifey to take some phone video of you
we gotta
throwing
see
so
that.
we can show our audience you throwing axes? Okay, good. Yeah, because I want to see that.
For sure.
Nemacolin's
We should
legit,
do
though.
a field trip. We should do a UCCS field trip to an axe throwing place.
I love that
I'm in.
idea.
Done.
Fun.
I'm down.
I'm in.
We talked
I'm
about
in.
Top Golf. I think I'd rather throw axes. I do the Top Golf too, but throwing axes.
There's
Yeah.
one in Tremont, I think we can go down.
Hello,
there.
Mom.
Is there one in Tremont?
I believe so.
Yeah, there is.
Mom-
Yeah,
Mom-
friend
All
has
right,
been
what's
there.
number one?
Yeah,
Mikey
no, we
McNuggets.
can't.
Yeah,
Number
Mikey
one.
McNuggets. Are we up to 2 or 1?
No, we're at number one. Aditi kind of spoiled it, but ping pong is
Yeah.
by far the coolest sport to be randomly good at. You talk about any locker room,
Dude.
it's usually the quarterback who's the best at it.
Yeah.
But if you could run the ping pong table in a locker room, I'm sure DeQuell could
This
attest
is-
to this.
I'm nice.
It
This
is
is a major
such
failure.
A cool thing
Lost
to do.
status.
This is a major
Yeah,
failure.
major
How
black
is
and white.
how is
nice.
beer pong not on the list?
That's not a sport. That's a game.
Right.
Beer
There
pong
you
is
go.
a sport.
There it is.
Beer
You're going to
pong
tell
is
me
totally
ping
a
pong
sport.
is a sport?
It's a lifestyle.
You're going to tell me
Just as much
pool
as
is a
cornhole
sport?
is a sport.
Cornhole is a sport.
I
beer
like
pong
that.
is a sport.
Beer pong is definitely, if you grow up
Beer pong,
in the
man.
Midwest, you from Ohio, you at a party school, hey.
That's
beer
across the
pong-
country. That's not
beer
just
pong
Midwest.
is on there. And where's Flip Cup? I don't see Flip Cup. I don't see
Oh,
Flip
I
Cup.
never liked
Hey, listen,
flip
I
cup.
went non-drinking events here. If we were going beer
What are you
Olympics, yeah, if
thinking?
you could run the beer Olympics, you're obviously the
All
coolest kid
those
in
are
town.
drinking games to me. Every one that you listed is a drinking game to me,
Yep.
just so you know.
And how about
Golf is the biggest drinking
What's the
game.
thing where you shoot each other with a paint
Paintball.
gun,
Paintball.
paintball?
Oh,
There you
paintball.
go. I couldn't think of what it's called.
Shoot each other with
Shoot
paint.
each other with guns.
Bull, I love you. Don't ever change.
Your
I know
list
you won't.
sucks, McNuggets.
That was a good list, actually. I'm
Those are
proud
all
of that
lame.
one.
Those are all
That
lame
was- that
things to
was
do,
good.
except for the
I
axe.
Bad.
like
It wasn't
it.
bad.
I like it. DeQuell, do
alright.
you like it?
DeQuell's
Yeah, I
my
think it's
harshest
decent.
critic, so
He's
Mike
doing-
Paul's
he's doing
I
okay.
I disagree with the order, but I thought the sports were good, and the fact that I'm good at 3 of them tells you that I was raised in bars.
Yes.
Like my dad since I was a kid. I'll take anybody
Yeah.
in pool right now.
Bull asked earlier, who takes their kids to bars? And without even hesitating, Mike
parents.
said, my dad.
I used to sleep under pool tables.
Listen, my son was 10 days old and he was at happy hour.
There you go.
Yeah, and that means he's going to have a happy life.
Yeah,
He's living our life.
yeah.
Aditi, I know you've got to go. Again, we are super excited for our opportunity to listen to you on Browns preseason games, but also we are so pumped for you that this is a great opportunity for you, and I think that this could be a really wonderful role for you moving forward, not just for the Browns in the preseason, but I see you being like a superstar A-list on the Fox Sports A-team as a sideline reporter. So
No doubt.
let's make that happen.
Yeah.
Who's your agent? I'll
Didi.
call him right now.
Securing the bag.
Get that bag.
Didi got
Thank
the
you,
bag
thank
now.
you, my friends.
Bye,
All
Didi.
right,
Bye,
talk
Didi.
to you soon.
That is
Bye.
great for us. That's good.
Bye.
I mean, when you think about that team, forget
Absolute
the fact that
phenomenal.
they're all Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show alum.
Yes.
But the fact that Joe Thomas, one of the
We love
favorite
Joe.
sons of Cleveland, Chris
Yeah.
Rose, favorite broadcast son of Cleveland,